Mamma mia, my lord Mephisto, I have some news.
This better not be about the plague.
No, it's about Novacotton.
Has to ensure that he calls for seeds again.
I was able to take down his Growingpains F6, but then he came out of nowhere with these emerald frost. Oh, mamma mia, it's so fancy. I'm going to never find a million of failing you can say.
Fix this now.
Thank you, Mephisto.
Yes,
Yes,
his pot being his pot like a million times.
give him a boost in his potassium nitrate. No, I will get him something even worse. I will get him fungus nitrate.
He's gonna be devising and
My lord, how will that help us get him to grow our beans? Unless, oh, his portal kaplan, I see, I get it. Oh, right, alarm. Alright.
Midnight and the plants just dance. Autoflowers take their chance. Deep down the perfect stance. We watch as nature enhances. Under lights we feel the trance. As the air flows through the
Hi, I'm Novacotton, and welcome to the Grow With Me series episode 3 here on YouTube. Yeah, it's the third episode 3. Yeah, that's how it is. My plant has been going really great so far in this acinfinity tent. Honestly, is making things easy, but let's check out these Autopots and how to clean them up. So you might be curious about how to reuse Autopots and can you even do that? And it's honestly very easy. I use my dishwasher and I just stick them in there and set the dishwasher to delicate, and you just make sure all the big stuff's in the bottom and all the tiny stuff's on top. And yeah, it's good to go. Just pop one of these pods in here. I'm using Cascade, the pods, and yeah, they're good to go. Once you have everything in the dishwasher, you just wait for it to go through the cycle and it'll dry it out. It won't be completely dry, but just grab everything out. And what I like to do is I put everything in the sun. So I have everything just laying in the sun. It'll dry on its own, and yeah, once it's done, it's good to go. And after that, your Autopot should be ready to be reused. Now you might be curious on how my plant is doing. Let's check on her. This is day 4, and honestly doing great compared to Growingpains F6. She's really happy day 6, and I'll just let her do the talking. So this is about day 6, and I decided to make sure that the cocoa has enough moisture in it, and I applied a little bit of the feed, just enough to get the perimeter around it, nice and moist. Remember in my last episode, I discussed how I don't go over a gallon at once, and that's for the first week of her growing. Just not a super strict thing, but just something I look at. Today marks day 8 of her growing from the seed, and really excited to look at her. Not bad at all, man. She's looking very beautiful and really nice. For day 8, that's pretty awesome. Honestly, I'm really happy so far with her. And this is you want to see on an auto growing at day 8 is around this size. You don't want her too small or stunted. Look, she's a healthy plant. Everything is not too moist. It's just perfect amount of water, feed. Not going too crazy, and Autopots turn on day 10 to day 13. I'll decide when she's a little bigger, but so far everything's going great, and I'm really happy with this. Yeah. Remember, you want to keep a humidity of around 75%. If you have 77 degrees, which is a VPD of around 0.9, 0.8. For the pre-veg cycle, you want it somewhere between 0.4 to 0.8. Now, VPD, or vapor pressure deficit, is a key factor in cannabis cultivation because it helps regulate how plants transpire, absorb water, and take in nutrients. By controlling the balance between humidity, temperature, you can optimize nutrient uptakes, enhance photosynthesis, and prevent mold, and ensure a healthy growth. Proper VPD leads to better yields, stronger terpene profiles, and overall better plant quality. And honestly, who doesn't want that? This is very easy with my Pro Controller 69. It helps me control my vents whenever I want them to vent out. And with that, I'm going to have a viewer question in. So from our viewer Galaxy Hiker 420, he says, how often do you run the air dome thing? My biggest issue with soil, that I assume I also do in cocoa, is overwatering. So I was thinking about trying one of those, but I feel like I end up running it too much and drying the roots out to kill plants in the opposite manner. Okay, so good question. You want to make sure how many GPHs your air pump takes out, and for Autopots, they always recommend 15 GPH per pot. So if you have 2 pots, that's 30 GPH. And GPH stands for gallon per hour. And it's the amount of force that the air pump's gonna come out and going through your air domes. And that's how you prevent it from going too crazy. Now let's go to light. To check your light, you usually check your PPFD. And your PPFD can actually be measured through the whole length of the time it's on, and that's the DLI. So these lights can throw out PPFD, and an app can calculate the amount of light it gets through the hour. And this is what this is. This is referred to DLI, or daily light integral. And it's another critical factor in cannabis cultivation. It measures the total amount of light a plant receives over the course of a day. That's why DLI is important. Some advantages are like optimized growth, better yield, and more energy efficient. And this is usually the levels that they recommend for DLI. So what you want the first week is 12, and on the second week we want 16, which is what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna bump the light to 16 DLI. Now for the app, you want to use the ALS sensor, and that should be honestly good enough for you to get a good reading. You could get a fancy DLI meter. You want to make sure it's a quantum par meter, and those are the most accurate and best ones. You can really get a good measuring of your PPFD with those. And yeah, otherwise use the photon is what I use. Yeah, so I'm getting 12, so I'm gonna bump it up and hopefully I get 15, 16. Hey look, 15, perfect. Alright, well I got what I wanted. She'll get a little taller and she'll hit 16 easily, so that's good enough for me. Now for the next viewer question. Do you have an autoflower Cropsalt feeding schedule with Autopots? Well, I use concentrate version because it's very easy to use. It's already liquid, so I don't have to wait for it to dissolve. I don't have to measure the powder like if I'm a cocaine addict. And this is the amount they want you to do with the concentrate version, but I use a little less. I use 20 milliliters per gallon. And this is the powder version that they want you to follow, the feeding chart. But you can use a little less, and for that you can message me and I can calculate it for you, no problem. It doesn't really matter which way you go. Cropsalt rocks, honestly. Now there's so much plant food out there, and who better to ask about that than Growingpains? Let's do it.
What up guys, Growingpains here. Just doing a little introduction for you guys into my world of growing cannabis and the nutrients I use for my boy Novacotton. Obviously I'm not in front of my grow room right now, but when I am growing, I'm using a master blend tomato formula. It's salt-based nutrient, and I've been running them in my Autopot system, and it has been phenomenal results. I can get a excuse me, I just smoked. I can get a 12-pound bag for about 40 bucks, and it'll last me a year essentially. I mean, it doesn't take much the way I'm mixing them. And I actually came up with a secret recipe with my boy Pushing Phosphorus when I first started using them, and the recipe just killed. So we stuck with that, and I just found my rhythm. The main thing that I would say would be is to focus on reading your plants and really focusing on what they're trying to tell you, what they need, what your plants are telling you. You'll see the signs in the leaves, and you'll notice deficiencies, and you'll be able to call it out right away. What I found for me, the easiest was automation. Once I automated my systems and I got everything running up to speed, it was pretty much a hands-off grow. Shout out to Autopot for that. And I can do a lot of things and really steer the way I wanted to once I figured out, the ratios and your lighting schedules and your environmentals. And once you get everything dialed in, then you're ready, and it's trial and error. You're going to get people shit talking, you're going to get haters, and you're going to get a lot of love. So just here. So the best thing I can suggest is just to get growing, guys, you know, and make mistakes. For sure, you're gonna make mistakes. Everyone does, but you're gonna grow far, bud. You know, it might take a few tries, but you'll get there. The salt-based nutrients that I use, like I said, very cheap, affordable, and very efficient. They work very well. I can give guys out the recipe that I had for it, that I used, and show my results. It was phenomenal. So if anybody has any questions about Autopot equipment or salt nutrients, you guys hit me up, and I appreciate it. And thanks, Novacotton, for having me. Peace.
Thanks, buddy. Well, hope you guys enjoy this week's episode of Grow With Me. If you have any comments or questions, be free to leave them down there. I don't care. I'll frickin' answer them. If not, I can just call them with that thing. Follow me on Twitter for more updates on my daily stuff. Follow me on YouTube. I do live shows. Follow me on Instagram, where I do random videos as well. Check out my Linktree, where you can get all my coupons and links to my gear and all my social media sites. Very cool stuff. And like always, hope you guys enjoy this growing adventure, and keep a good lookout for some giveaways I'll have on my social sites. And like always, guys, keep on growing. See ya.